Second. There we go. What's going on, man?
Not much.
Dude, thanks for doing it. I know
You
I've
got
been I've been harassing you for the last like 2 months, but I was like, he'll crack eventually.
it? No worries. I was just focused on the fight, you know.
Yeah. So, what are you feeling like $1,000,000, dude?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, it's good when the hard work pays off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What? Okay. Well, I know you. No one else. None of my followers do. Introduce yourself and explain, who you are and why you're such a badass.
yeah, my name's Jesse the Viking Erickson, is my nickname for MMA. 10-8 as a professional mixed martial artist, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was recently featured on a reality show called Man vs. Bear on Discovery Channel. So just like, living life to the fullest, entertaining people,
Yeah.
trying to make memories,
Fuck yeah, dude. What is it? Let's just jump right into it. What is it like when you win a fight? Like, what is? Obviously, I think I worked bar security, and I think I've been in a fight like twice. And by fight, I mean like me and like 10 other bouncers like tackled a drunk guy. But very fair confrontation. But even then, it all happened so like it's so fast. When I look back at it, it almost seems like it didn't happen because it's just this weird adrenaline punch. What is it like when you're actually in front of a ton of people and you win? What is that like? Just tell me, and no, it doesn't need to be some cheesy, well, we work hard and we win. No, what is it like? Like, you feel like a dragon, just like, or a bear, like, dude, I just destroyed that guy. Is it like a flashback to like caveman times, like or am I just crazy and it's nothing like that?
No, it's, you touched on like a couple of cool kind of details. So when you get into like an altercation, like on the street or, like in a bar or whatever it is, like there's no time to like really think about it. It just all of a sudden, boom, you're fighting.
Yeah.
So you get that like immediate adrenaline rush. Now, imagine like going to bed every night for 8 weeks, knowing that like on this day, I'm going to get up and I'm going to fight a guy that's been training for the same amount of time, going to bed thinking about, I'm fighting this dude in 8 weeks, like getting up every day and working hard in the gym. Like that's a whole different kind of feeling,
Yeah.
There's still like that adrenaline rush and everything, like when you do fight, but it's just different than like an immediate kind of like street fight. It's just where it's there. There's no thinking about it, preparation. Just all of a sudden, okay, boom, I'm fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But with MMA, when you're, you just train for one guy for, a long time. And it's really rewarding when you finally get to fight him, and then your game plan and works out, and like everything that you've been drilling in the gym, the things that you've been practicing and preparing for all comes together in that moment. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, man, I really like MMA, but I don't like hurting people. Like, no, fuck that. Like, you can be a golfer if you like, you know what I mean? You can play, there's 1,000 sports you can play that have nothing to do with hurting people. Okay? Some level of you have to enjoy the physical violence, and I know I absolutely do. Like, I don't want anyone to be like permanently disabled after I fight them, or like have to like the hospital, like necessarily, like especially this guy, like he was super like cool leading up to, like he was a top prospect in New England, like just a genuinely nice dude. We've got mutual friends, and Maine's a small state, so like when you fight another guy from Maine, especially somebody like that, like the odds are them a bit. So like, I like it, man. I like the feeling of like hitting someone in the chin and then getting knocked out. I like the feeling of like grabbing their arm and wrenching on it until they tap or the ref stops it. I like the feeling of choking someone unconscious. It all makes me happy.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, dude. You gotta acknowledge that and own that. I think it would be. I mean, first of all, if anyone that would get upset at like, oh, you enjoy fighting, it'd be like, you're a pussy. Like, this isn't for you. Don't watch it. But like, I think the second maybe even worse than that would be someone that's like, oh, I like it, I like fighting, but like, no, it's technique. It's all about the like, no, dude, like there's a visceral, like you said, like I enjoy choking someone out. Like I enjoy like putting him in that spot. Like you gotta, like in college when I always used to like break curves on like organic chemistry and physics and stuff, and people would have to drop the class because of me because there'd be no curve. And like I'd be lying through my fucking teeth if like that didn't get me going. Like, like I didn't want people to drop these classes. I didn't, I wasn't happy that you had to retake it that summer. But goddamn, if that doesn't give you a little juice, like fuck yeah, I'm a fucking killer.
Yeah.
If that doesn't straighten your chin out a little more, like I don't know what does. But like you said, it's not like you're trying to put someone in the hospital. It's not like,
No, I wish them nothing but the best. Like when we're done fighting,
Yeah.
but like while we're fighting, like it's fucking kill or be killed. Like
Absolutely.
if I don't do my job and try to finish the guy, if you show like an ounce of mercy in there, like that could be the time where you get reversed, and then they're the ones that are knocking your teeth out or breaking yours.
Yeah,
so.
they're not slowing up for you. I mean, this is quite a jump in an analogy, but it's like when scientists in like 1950 were saying we shouldn't develop the hydrogen bomb. Truman said, yeah, it's terrible. He said, can the Russians do it? And they said, within 5 years, they'll be able to do it. And he said, well, get on it then. Because he's like, if we don't, they're going to. It's not that we want to. It's just like the other, you can't bank on the other guy being like, well, I'm going to go easy too. No, you gotta rip his fucking head off before he rips off yours.
I've seen Josh, the guy that I fought, like I've seen him like mess some people up. I've seen him break someone's shoulder before. He's the same way. I don't think I like did anything too like I caught a Kimura submission. I'm not sure if anything like popped or whatever. He seemed like pretty good after, so I'm sure he's fine. I don't think anything too bad happened, but yeah, I've had other fights where like it's been better or worse, like the person tapped in time, or I felt some stuff pop, or I got a nice knee knockout one time where I felt the guy's face just kind of like break. I felt his nose was kind of like crumple under my knee.
Oh my god!
Like as soon as I felt the impact, I was like, that dude's not getting up. There's no need to jump on him. Like when the fight's over. Like most of the time, you land like a clean shot and you feel that guy's consciousness leave his body. Like there's no need to pursue.
Jesus, man, that's some killer shit. When you leave his consciousness, leave his body. That's like in so many words, not saying when I took his fucking soul. Like Jesus, dude. But yeah, you have to have that mindset. Like
coffee.
Oh yeah, go get coffee, dude.
My wife just came home with the coffee. Can I get that?
Yeah. Sorry you didn't have your coffee, dude. I woke up and I did the speed mile at the gym. I don't even know why I'm calling it a speed mile. When I run, I get shin splints, so I just did like a power walking mile. So I looked like a 60-year-old mom, like high elbows doing my mile, listening to music, and I'm talking to a fucking MMA fighter. It's not the same, but
there's nothing wrong with that. Like as long as you're getting up and moving every day, you know what I mean? Like
it keeps me
sane. Doesn't matter whether you're going for a walk or you're doing rounds on a heavy bag or you're doing MMA. Like get your exercise in,
or stealing somebody's soul, like you. So you said when the fight's over. I don't know anything about fighting. I mean, and I'm just saying that. I truly don't know the first thing about it. How do you know when it? I mean, obviously the officiator or ref calls it, but for someone like you've been training this long and you know that it's kill or be killed, it's a zero-sum game, and you put your knee on someone's face and you feel it give way, and so you don't jump on them and you don't start pounding them. How do you decide not to do that? Because I imagine, if I'm just putting myself in and I'm just looking at it from my point of view, if I'm you, as long as that whistle hasn't gone, I'm gonna, unless I literally see his eyes roll back and blood coming out of his ears, I would keep going, because it's what if he gets up? What if he gets up, knocks my ass out, and I'm looking back on this, for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, like I thought I had him down, and I started walking away, and then he got up, and So how do you know when to not keep going, when to try to keep stealing a soul that isn't even there?
That's a hard one to explain, really, like if you haven't been there. But like so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some like knockout artist or anything like that. Like I have like 2 knockouts and then a lot of submissions. Like I'm a jiu-jitsu guy.
2 more than I'll ever have.
But like when you hit somebody like clean, and it's happened in the gym a lot more than it's happened like in the cage. But like I know you can kind of feel it. Like when you catch someone. It just, they stop moving normal. You know what I mean? Like they don't. Okay. They just become like a dummy. Like it's just, you can feel like they're, like I said, like their consciousness kind of like leave their body. Like it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a really cool feeling.
It is.
When you hit three and they just, brain shuts off, you know, like, but yeah, like, and if I recognize that, like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm a sportsman, you know, like this is, this isn't war. This is like a sport. We're trying to win for sure, but like when the fight's over, the fight's over. Mm-hmm. So like if I hit a guy and I recognize like he's knocked out, like I'm not gonna jump on that dude and like see how many more times I can hit him before the ref like tries to stop me. Like it's not like he was like, talking shit about my wife or something beforehand or anything like that. Like I'm not got no bad blood towards the guy. We're doing a sport, So yeah, it's you can recognize like when it's over. Like I've had other times where like I've hit the guy and he's like slipped or stumbled and stuff like that, and that's different. Like it's not the same kind of feeling. Like you're like, oh, I got him good, but I gotta stay on him now. Yeah. But like when you hit them and like you feel stuff like break in their face, like probably that dude's not gonna get up, or you hit him and like you see his chin go and he falls down. Like, like there's no need to like be a D-bag and like pound that dude anymore, you know? Yeah.
But I guess it's maybe almost like playing basketball. Like some shots you're like, that one looks good, but every once in a while you'll toss one up and like you don't even need to look at it because you're like, that's in. Like it's just that feeling where it's just like it's like that's in. Fuck off. I'm running back down the court. Are there any people that don't have that basic human kindness that you have?
So many people. There's so many people. I fought guys like that, man, like that I know. Like, man, if I don't beat this dude, like he's gonna keep going. There's this one dude that he kind of had a reputation for like going a bit after the bell. I think he got suspended in Maine because the ref had to like physically pull him off the dude after he knocked him out. Like the guy just wasn't stopping. And I fought him and like I won by armbar in the first round. And I remember like after I got done, like I rolled over and like looked at him and his eyes were like glazed over, like just rage. For one, that's not like an effective way to fight. Like if you're fighting that emotionally, like there's some holes in your game already.
You're not thinking right.
For two, I was like, shit, he might hit me still, even though I just won and the fight's over. Like, be ready to go. But then once he like calmed down and like everything, he was super cool. Like I got a beer with him after and everything like that. But some people I think just have like a more difficult time like shutting it off when it's time to shut it off. Like they're just kind of like stuck in that mode for a little bit longer.
Yeah. It's like you ever watch any of the Batman movies? Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm a Marvel guy, but I've watched a few.
Yeah. Like the Dark Knight Rises when Batman's fighting Bane, and Batman's just like throwing every punch, and Bane's like, "You fight like a younger man, like admirable, but mistaken." I feel like that's what it's like if you're going in emotional, just blind rage. And maybe it's a good game plan if you can catch someone in the first couple seconds, but it's like sprinting in a marathon. In all of my wisdom of fighting, but so are there people that aren't? I mean, this is obviously the number of people in the world, it's going to be a yes. But have you encountered people that they're not cool at all after it? Like win or lose, it's still like fuck you. Like they've mistaken it for literal war.
No, I've been, like some people I feel like take like longer to like shut it off, but for the most part I've been pretty fortunate. Like my opponents have been like a lot of people I fought are like super close friends now. So like I've been pretty fortunate in that regard. I haven't had anything too crazy happen or anyone other than the one story that I told you, like where the guy's eyes looked like they were still glazed over with rage and stuff. I was not sure if he was going to be done right there or not, but yeah, other than that, no, everyone's like been pretty cool, like before and after and everything like that. Like I've had 20 something MMA fights now between my amateur and pro career. And I've seen like all levels of it. Like I've seen guys like some people like try to get in your face at weigh-ins and like intimidate you, and I'm like, dude, I don't care, man. Like,
yeah.
I've been here before. Like you can puff up your chest and act tough. Like we're getting in the cage the next day. Like why waste your energy right now?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna smile at you, man. Like I don't have anything like to prove right now. Like we're fighting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all types of people obviously in the sport, but I've been fortunate that like most of the guys that I've faced and worked with are pretty reasonable like after and stuff. So
yeah. Now, what is the psychological game? Like how much does it play into it, or is that just some romantic like Hollywood thing, like you got to get in his head, or is there literally like are there tactics?
No, there's definitely like tactics that you can kind of employ. Like I don't really like try to play like any like psychological games with my opponents like leading up to the fight. Really, like I'm confident in my preparation, but like there are some things that I look for. So when I'm at like weigh-ins, like when we're doing the stare down, like, and you look into the guy's eyes, like that's like pretty telling right there. Like, is he meeting me? Is he looking me in the eyes, or is he looking at my forehead? Is he looking at my chin? Like, does he not want to make eye contact with me? And then when I get in the cage on fight night, like, and I look across the cage, some people will like meet your gaze, and kind of like, then you're like, all right, this motherfucker's game. He's ready. Like this is gonna be a fight. And then some people are really like timid. Like they won't look you in the eyes. They're looking everywhere but at you. Yeah. I'm trying to like stare into your soul like right before I fight and like see you for who you are. Yeah. And like if you won't look me in the eyes, then like that's usually like a good indicator that there's some fear that I can exploit there.
Okay. Now maybe I'm looking too deep into this. Would that be a tactic to not look into someone's eyes and act timid and give them a false sense of, I can draw blood? They look at you, and let's say it's you and me, we're going up, and I'm looking at your forehead, I'm looking at your chin, I'm not meeting your gaze. You're going, okay, like there's some fear I can exploit. But what if could it be entirely planned, where you're like, I want this guy to just, even if it's 1%, I want him to get 1% out of his comfort, or 1% more into his comfort zone because he thinks that he's got me. Like,
yeah, I suppose like someone could, we're talking about guys that hit each other for money too. I don't know how fucking deep most of them are, to be honest with you. Some of them, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They could be trying to play like that level of mind games with you, but I don't really, for me in particular, it's not going to really matter. Like I relish the idea of the guy like being ready, being the best version of himself, and being prepared physically and mentally for anything that I have to offer. Like I just want to like have a great fight, man. Like my favorite fight is probably Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. Like when they like, just beat the piss out of each other, and they come in between like I can't remember which round it was or whatever, but like Robbie's face is like, his lip is split and he's like screaming, and like that's the type of stuff that excites me, man. Like I'd love to have like a fight like that. So like when you're like wanting to do something like that, you're not really like too worried about like little things like kind of mind games he's playing. Like when you're absolutely prepared and you want like the bloodiest war that you can have in the cage, then it kind of makes everything else a little bit easier. Okay,
so my dumb ass, I'm over there trying to play like mental chess.
It could absolutely, like, that's not dumb at all. Like, there's absolutely some merit in that. Like, some people probably are playing like those level of tricks on people, you know, but you probably aren't going to see that like as much on the local level. But yeah, like you'll see like UFC fighters at weigh-ins like looking up, like, I don't want to look you in the eyes, like, you know, you don't deserve it. But so yeah, there's definitely like, there's all kinds of things that you can do, but you got to be prepared for whatever. Like, you know, is this guy like mentally bulletproof, or do I see like some sort of weaknesses? You could tell like from their other fights too. Like, watch like kind of how they behave like before some of their other fights. Like check them out like at their weigh-in video. Like check out their how they act before and after fights. Like when you're watching the tape, there's a lot you can learn from a fighter beyond just like what he's doing in the cage while he's fighting. There are some mental advantages that you can get, kind of like you're saying too. So you're on the mark with that for sure.
It makes me think of, there's some like Mike Tyson YouTube clip. I remember seeing it years ago because Joe Rogan was talking about it, but it's Mike Tyson talking, and he's like I'm wrapping up my gloves in the locker room, and he's like, I'm scared to death of this man. I've had dreams of this man beating me, dreams of failing in front of my family. And as I get closer and closer to the ring, my confidence is building. I'm scared to death, but my confidence is building, getting closer to the ring. And when I step into the ring, I'm a god. He goes, I stare him in the eyes. I stare into his soul. And if he looks away for even just 1 microsecond, it's a chink in his armor. I know I've already won. He might last a round or two, but I know I've already won. So that's what I was thinking of, is like,
dude, that's 100% on the money right there. That was like how I've had a lot of fights where like I've not experienced like any nerves like leading up to it, like to the point where like I've had friends and cornermen, a good buddy of mine, Mark Giovi, that used to corner me from Mass, like when I was first starting out. He used to always say like, he'd like shake me, he'd be like, you're ready to fight, like you haven't like really said much, like you're like super zen right now, like you're like, be excited, like you're about to fight someone. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, no, there's nothing to get it worked up about just yet, you know. And like it's like right up until the walkout, and like he was right, man, like because I had a lot of fights where like I didn't really experience any nerves, and then like you get in the cage and then it all kind of hits you at once, and it's like a tidal wave. This fight was a little bit different for me. It was more like, you know, how you just described it. I was the guy that I fought was he was a top prospect, man. He was 7-0-1. He had 1 draw against a guy that was on the Ultimate Fighter. 7 wins. They were touting him as like, you know, one of the next big prospects in New England and the country, really, like top ranked. He was like in the top 100 in the country. So I was a huge underdog. I think it was like when I checked Tapology, it looked like I think 95% picked him to win, 5% picked me to win. So like I definitely like had some like nerves like leading up to that. Like I'm not gonna lie and be like, no, I was not worried for a second. Like no, like I was. But it was healthy. It was like healthy nerves. Like before the fight, I was like, oh, yeah, like, and even like before weigh-ins, I was like, ooh, you know, like. Yeah, maybe he'll miss weight and we want him to fight or something. Like all these like weird things like run through your head like right before, like, and of course like if something like that happens, then you're devastated. You're like, no, I didn't really want that. Like, but like your mind kind of like plays these little tricks on you, and like I got a lot of it this time, but it was the healthiest thing, because like when it was time to fight, then as I started to like warm up, I was like, I'm so ready for this, man. Like I worked so hard this training camp. And like everything's working in my warm up. Like I'm moving the way I want to move. I feel comfortable. I feel relaxed. we make the walk out towards the cage. Like there's a little bit of nerves, but like they're starting to die down. Yeah, I'm cage side now, and then I just like a lot of times like before you fight, you get like wicked like dry mouth, and like you need some water. I remember my coach being like, "Do you want some water?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good, man. I feel great right now. Like I'm so relaxed, comfortable. Like it was like everything kind of happened the way it needed to happen. Like I got comfortable at the right exact moment. The nerves worked themselves out right before I got into the cage, and then when I got in the cage, I was like, here we go. It's showtime. Let's do it. And the nerves were gone. They were gone. It was time to fight.
Yeah. Did you take his soul?
No, he's good, man. He's good. Like, I'm sure like I said, Maine's a small state, and he's already like hit me up. We're going to we'd cross-trained before this fight. We've got mutual friends. Like I said, he trains with like a really close friend of mine in Thai boxing, and like I'm sure we'll train together again, soon here too. He's talented. He's still going places, man. He's gonna learn more from losing to me. Like he's got the potential to accomplish much more than I have. He's 7-1-1. I'm 10-8. I'm 32. He's younger than me. Like he's still on everyone's radar. Like this is not like the end for him. This is just the beginning. Like I look forward to like helping him with some jiu-jitsu and like seeing how he develops and it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be probably the best thing for him. He hasn't lost in a long time, and sometimes that's just the kick that you need to like to come back stronger for the next one. So
what's in the future for you?
I'm 32. I'm gonna be 33 in April. Like I'll never retire. I think it's cheesy because like everyone in MMA, especially on the local season, like it seems like every day like I'm retired, and then they take another fight, and like I just think it's cheesy. So like I'm never gonna officially retire. I am a fighter. It's what I love to do. It's part of who I am. There is no retirement for me. Like eventually I'll just kind of naturally stop. I've already slowed down a little bit. Now I'm just taking the fights that really excite me. I'm not doing this because I think, I don't have necessarily goals to be a UFC world champion or anything like this. I'm doing this because I fucking love to fight, man. I love combat. I love martial arts. Been a martial artist my whole life, and I do it solely because I love it. So I'll fight when something comes along that piques my interest. I'm just looking for like the next adventure, man.
Now, why don't you have for my OCD psychopathic mind, I'm always goal oriented. Even this, it's like podcast. This is podcast number 33. Like today, I'm going to get to 33. Like if I don't have a goal, like I'm dead. If I don't have a goal, like after John passed, I didn't have a goal for like 5 years. I think I probably aged 50 years in 5 years because it was just eating McDonald's and drinking, and like it was just like there was no fight in me. Versus like deciding like, oh, I want to build a podcast. It has breathed life into me. Like I've lost 17 pounds since I started this podcast. Like just thank you. It's just like I like sleep better. I meditate more. It's like because I have a goal. Doesn't matter what the goal is. For me, I have to have a goal. So I'm just looking at it through not criticizing you. I'm just looking at it through my mindset. If I was a fighter and I wasn't retired, I would have to have a goal. Now I also understand that I'm fucking crazy and not everyone's like me. But so why don't you have like I want to get this many wins, or I want to do this, or do you, and they're just different goals? Do you have different 2020 goals?
I definitely have goals,
Okay.
I'm beyond being just a fighter, like I'm a coach. Like I had like 11 teammates fight on the same card as me that I wasn't able to corner and be there for as much as I would have liked to. But the rest of the guys at the gym and the rest of the coaching staff, Dustin Vina, my assistant MMA coach and the head striking coach at my gym, Central Maine Jiu-Jitsu, picked up the slack big for us. and cornered like all these dudes. So I'm going to take like a back seat for myself for like a little bit and just focus on developing my guys. I've got tons of goals, man. I want to coach some guys to the UFC.
Fuck yeah.
I've got other goals too. Like it's kind of one of those things too, where like I don't really want to like show all my cards.
No, don't. I mean? Yeah,
like everybody, like I kind of like to keep some of my goals to myself.
Absolutely.
Play close to home. That way people aren't like, you ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just watch. Like just wait and see what I do because I'll do something special.
Yeah.
So I've definitely got some things in mind and some plans, but I'm gonna play those cards.
Good.
Close for now.
Yeah.
But like I'm always looking for competition too. So like. I think I'm gonna maybe like jump into some jiu-jitsu tournaments too to stay active. That way I can still focus on like cornering and coaching the guys for MMA, but like keep competing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do some more things with CrossFit too. Like I'd like to develop my strength a little bit more too there. I got a really good coach over there.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Nutting, CrossFit 196 in Lewiston. She's amazing.
Shout out.
Yeah. And then my other team, Recon MMA in Westbrook, Maine, they're awesome too, and they've given me a lot this fight camp. A lot of those guys have worked super hard to like get me ready for this fight, and I want to give back to them however I can, and help some of those guys get ready for their fights as well. So we've got goals, some short-term goals here too, and we'll work on those while I keep some of my long-term goals like in my back pocket. I'm still working towards them, just a little bit slower, and just kind of like just keep grinding, like every day it's a new adventure. Like get up and hustle. You know how it is, man.
Yeah. No, dude, I get you entirely. I also get you with the not every goal needs to be put on public display. I really do think there is something to keeping it to yourself and not in just. There's one way, like you don't want to give away all your battle plans,
Mm-hmm.
but even goals you have where it tactically doesn't matter. It's not like you're, you're a World War I general and you don't want the other side to literally figure out what the fuck you're about to do. But I think there's something about, even if let's say you're a World War I general and your goal is to invade here and do this, but your goal is also to lose 10 pounds, like, it's almost as beneficial, I think, to maybe not tell everyone you're trying to lose 10 pounds. Like I think I really do believe there's something to that, where it's almost like, not to get all like spiritual hippie and shit, but I feel like the less people that can know about it, it's the less people that are doubting it. And personally, I don't give a shit when people say like you can't do things to me. Like, dude, I was a meathead until I was 20. I almost failed out of college my freshman year, and I decided I wanted to be a doctor. And I remember my advisor telling me, like, you should maybe think about a different career. And I just remember thinking, like, fuck you, fuck everyone like, fuck everybody. And I got 4.0s.
Try like choosing martial arts as a career path too.
Yeah, yeah.
You get a lot of like, same thing like you got. Like, what? How can you make money doing that? Like,
yeah.
Just don't worry about it. Let me do my thing, and I'll take care of that.
Yeah, there's definitely some fuel when people say you can't. Like, it's just, and I loved over 3 years. Just I had to get nonstop 4.0s, and I did it, and I got into medical school, and I just remember thinking like, fuck you, fuck everyone. But there was also a lot of times where I would kind of play down my goal and be like, I'm not sure if I want to get in. Maybe I want to do nursing or dentistry, because it was almost like if you didn't put your goal up on some like pedestal for everyone to piss on, it almost seemed like it was kind of easier to get there sometimes. It'd be like no one knew what I was doing, so I could be like, I think I'm gonna try to study for this test, and then I'd go in my room, I'd shut the door and be like, I studied like a motherfucker. But it was like, after 12 hours, open the door and be like, you studied like an hour. Like, there's almost something about, even with this podcast, there are plans I have for this that I don't put out there. And it's also like what you said, you want to make money doing MMA. Do you know how many looks I get when it's like, you got into medical school? And I didn't go. I decided not to go. I turned it down.
Yep.
It's like, you could have been a doctor and you're podcasting? Like, talking about, like, shitting your pants and drinking stories? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, you know, like, some of it's fuel for, you know, it's like, you know, everyone else that got into med school with me, they're now all, you know, it's 7 years later. Right now, they're all wearing white coats and they're in hospitals. And here I am at 9:30 in the morning talking to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I fucking stole a motherfucker's soul." You're like, I felt his nose give way like a pine cone under my knee. Like, you know, it's like, yeah. Some people give you some looks, but so part of it does fuel you because you're like, "Fuck you," like you know, watch me. Like, you know,
Right.
You know, those who say that it can't be done, you need to get out of the way, or those who are doing it. Like, that quote's awesome, but.
Sure.
I think you're right. There's something about, like, I don't know, maybe it's like a spark, maybe it's like a little flame, like a match during a rainstorm. Like, you can't let everyone see it. Sometimes you gotta just hold it close to your chest, and when the time's right, burn down the fucking forest. But
Yeah.
not promoting arson, but like, it's not always for everyone. So yeah, no, I get that. Do you meditate? Is that at all part of your?
Yeah, I actually do.
Hell yeah.
We were doing it like as a family for a little while too. It was pretty cool. Like I'd like to get back into that, but like we had like kind of a little like bedtime routine where like me, my wife, and my son would all be like, we'd put on like a guided meditation on like Alexa or whatever, and like just all kind of like. And he's adorable. Like he's like sitting with his legs crossed, like, like, it's so cool. Like,
little Buddha.
Do it like that, bro. You can just close your eyes and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, some people think like, you know, meditation is like some like super weird like granola spiritual. Like, no, dude, that's like exercise for your brain, and you should do it. You're silly not to.
Absolutely.
I think it's hugely important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do it pretty much every night, like to some degree. Even just like in my bed, like I'll like read a little bit, and then like when I'm ready to go to sleep, like my mind's like super active, so like it's just a good way to kind of like unwind and finally like fall asleep. So yeah, just about daily, I would say.
Yeah. It's I did it daily throughout college, and that's what allowed me to do. That's what allowed me to do the things that I did. Is you're right, because it's at first it kind of seems like oh you gotta go save the trees, like, you know, some shit like that. But it's like, no man, I'd meditate, and it wasn't like for the benefit of others. It would be like I'd focus and I'd get my mind calm, and I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking ace this test. I'm gonna make everyone drop this fucking class. I want everyone to hate me. Like I am going to kill the competition. Like. OChem 2, summer 2012, Professor Hubbard, University of Georgia, 300 kids. I remember the average on the first test was a 55. He's like, well, there's normally a curve, but someone got a 99. And I was like, I was like, fuck yeah. And like, I remember I used to be in lab, and people would be like, somebody got a 99. Like, that person has no life. Like, they're ruining it for everyone. And in my mind, I was just like, fuck yeah. Like, fuck all of you. Like, survival of the fittest. But like, yeah, no, meditation isn't it can be save the whales, but it's, for me, it was like I meditated to like become a killer. Like that's but I you're right, it's exercise for the mind.
Yeah, exactly. You need that to like focus your brain, you know, like it's your brain's that's a muscle that gets neglected on a lot of people. People like, especially in today's day and age, like they're on Facebook all the time. They watch Netflix, like they don't, but like meditate. They don't do anything for their brain. Like consume media. So I think it's important to like shut shit off once in a while and just like kind of be alone with your thoughts.
Absolutely.
You know? and practice like clearing your mind.
And and if there's stuff there that scares you, like that's all the more reason to meditate. Like you don't beat it by not thinking about it, like
ignoring it.
like, you know, like after John, like for years, like that's when I stopped meditating. That's also when I was watching movies every day. You know, as soon as that's over, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, get on Twitter, get on YouTube, get on Reddit, back to the, you know, do this. And you're just, that is a drug. It's not in a bottle that you need a bottle opener for. excuse me, it's not a pill in a bottle. It's not, it's not something you snort, but god damn it, like sitting there just nonstop. Yeah, you don't have to vote. You don't have to address any issues in your life. You can just kind of go into this like anesthetized, just, cyber coma almost. And it's when the thoughts start coming, like, shit, I really need to lose some weight, man. I need to call that guy back. I'm being mean to my girlfriend. When's the last time I've talked to my brother? Blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, nope. Like, like the hottest, what's trending. It's, meditate, and you sit there, and like, the best thing is like when you finally gather up the courage to like meditate and sit there and like, I'm going to face everything. It's almost like you called its bluff. Because it's like whatever that was scaring, for me at least, whatever was scaring me about myself, or thoughts or doubts or self-hatred, or as soon as you address it, it's almost like that was the test. Is it just wanted you to address it? Because once you address it, it's almost like, oh yeah, no, this is not that. You just need to fix it. Like the real test is, it's so cheesy, but it's like the real lesson was like that you learned to face it in the first place. I'm like that every morning. Meditated this morning. As soon as I sit down, it's like my mind's flitting, just left, right, up, down. What am I doing? What gotta talk to Jesse? Went to the gym earlier. What am I doing later tonight? What about? And it's just the longer you sit there and just in, out, in, just that like that, and all of a sudden, it's almost like when there's like the washer machine's on or the dishwasher's on, and you don't realize it's on until it turns off, and you hear that silence, and you're like, oh, what is that? That's what meditation's like. Where all of a sudden you're like, where'd that noise go? You're like, oh my god, you don't realize like your mental.
Yeah, you didn't even notice the noise until you like took time to like really consider it. You know?
Yeah. Your stream of thoughts. You're like, where'd that noise go? And you're like, am I just thinking 24/7? You're like, Jesus, how the fuck have I been doing that? Not to just, I realize as we're going on about it, it's good to like put everything down. Meanwhile, I'm trying to like sling a podcast. I'm like, hey, listen to this in your free time. Like, like, oh, fuck, maybe. Yeah. But, no, turn this fucker off. Go meditate.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with consuming media, especially podcasts.
Especially podcasts. Click here now. Yeah. It's in moderation though.
Right.
So I gotta ask you, we're talking about meditation and being focused and not having flitting thoughts. Meanwhile, I take this conversation in 1,000 different directions. Can you show me your tattoos?
Oh yeah,
dude, those are fucking badass.
A couple, here.
All right.
Quite a bit here.
Yeah.
Sorry, got a little bit to patch up here, but this one's this is quite a bit older. This is like an older sleeve of mine here. Jesus. This is all they're both like pretty much all from like Norse mythology and stuff. Yeah.
That's so badass,
dude. Tattooed on my chest here too, but I mean, we can sit here all day and I can show you my tattoos.
Yeah. Those are badass, dude. No, because I've seen pictures of you with them. Not everyone can rock tattoos. You can rock them like a badass, so I respect that. What's your future plan for tattoos? What else? Are you ever gonna go full face tat?
No, I really want to get like my throat filled all the way up, packed. Yeah. But my wife is super against it. Like she'll come around eventually.
Yeah, in due time.
Right? Yeah. But we'll see. I'm working on my legs right now. Okay. I got a couple pieces on my legs. I think I'm gonna sleeve out my left leg next too, kind of like a trash polka style. That's that's like the current project. And then I still need to get my black belt tattoo. I've got my blue, purple, brown belt tattoo on my ribs here. Those all came out awesome, but now I always said once I got my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I'd get a Japanese dragon, black and red, over a large portion of my back, and I'm just kind of dreading getting it done, but I need to book that appointment. The back and ribs are brutal. I'm pretty mellow with all my other locations. They're yeah, that's a high pain area. I'm that's fine. It's not too bad, but I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a baby when I get my ribs tattooed.
You fight motherfuckers in a cage for a living.
Yeah, and I would rather fight, you know, anybody than get my ribs tattooed.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
you're one spot that I'm like, oh, I have to get that done again.
Yeah, you're
yeah, so that'll be next, probably my either my leg or the dragon piece.
Yeah, what'd you say? You said some pattern. You're something like something.
Trash polka. It's like just like a tattoo style. It's like black, red, and it's got like color splashes and like dots and things like that too. You can see some of it's like on my Instagram. I think my most recent tattoo on there. It's like a Viking helmet and crossed swords, and then there's like a swirl of like red around it and like polka dots like that too. Fuck it, I'll just show you it.
Fuck yeah.
Get sweatpants on, it'll be easy enough.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like kind of like that.
Fuck yeah. Jesus Christ, dude.
And then I got on my thigh, I got this is like for the man vs. bear.
Yeah.
Kind of the man vs. bear tattoo.
Oh yeah, shit. I forgot about that. That's a badass tattoo, dude.
Yeah. So like it's all kind of like that art style.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that throughout the whole
that's
leg.
Sick. Yeah, that's sick.
Shout out to CNC Tattoo.
Shout out.
They've been sponsoring me for years and doing like lots of good work on me, so I'm super appreciative of them. Chris O'Leary is an incredible tattoo artist.
Fuck yeah, dude! Give me, if they have a link to something, give it to me. I'll pin it and put it in the description. I completely forgot to ask you about that, dude. How was Man vs. Bear?
Oh, that was a wild experience, dude. That was so I'm just like sitting at home, like doing my thing, and I get a message on Instagram. It's like, hey, I'm casting for this show called Man vs. Bear, and I just thought it was like a crazy person. I just ignored it. Like what is that? And the next day my phone rings, and this guy's like, hey, I got your number from Central Maine Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I am casting for this show, and I think you'd be a good fit for it. It's called Man vs. Bear. What do you think? And I was like, do I fight the bear? And he goes, no, but I like your attitude. I get to do this application, and it was a long process, but like finally we got to the point where they flew me out to Utah for filming, and we did the thing. It was weird, man, but it was a cool experience. Those bears were they weren't like Maine black bears. They were big.
That's fucking terrifying, dude. Yeah, fuck that noise. What?
Yeah, like the biggest one was Bart the bear. He was the bear from Game of Thrones that fought Brienne of Tarth in the fighting pit.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So like they're super well trained. Like people are like, it's funny like seeing people like we live in like a day and age where everyone like wants to like bitch first before they know anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, those poor bears,
Yeah,
and their collars they must have used, and they chained them up. And I'm like, no, dude, the bears were treated 1,000 times better than anyone on like on the show. It's the middle of summer in Utah, and it's like by noon it's 100 degrees. So all the bears have to be done filming by noon. So they like rush us out to like do the challenges, and then they back film everything else. So they're like, all right, I'll now do the interview about like when you did this challenge, and now do like this piece. So like the bears are like getting like hosed down with water, and we're standing in the hot sun, like baking and doing these interviews and stuff. Like bears were like rolling around, playing, like jumping in the water, like having a blast. Like, we went to their sanctuary for orphaned bears that would have died in the wild, and we get these like dumbass like vegans like online talking about like,
how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not to say all vegans are dumbasses. I know a lot of cool vegan people, but these
dumbasses were vegans
very well. These bears were treated very well.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I was gonna say I was going the opposite train of thought as you were. You're like, people are, they must have shock collars. And like, fuck yeah, I hope they do.
No, they had nothing, dude. Nothing. Like they just, the scariest one was when they were like running behind us. Like we had like a 50-yard head start, but bears are pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, like, they're like, the bear's gonna stop at this point. I'm like, well, I hope the fuck it does. If I ever needed like motivation to run, like I got it.
Run from a fucking bear. Yeah. So there's no one there with like a 50 cal or something.
They had. I don't think anyone had like any guns or anything. They had their trainers there and stuff, but they were like, all they needed, man, was like a little bit of Cool Whip here and there. The bears were very like food motivated.
Yeah. Your food. That's of course they're gonna be food motivated. Dude, you have more fucking trust in those trainers than I ever would. Like, no, the trainers are there. Like, fuck that. I want someone with a bear at 50 cal.
Well, that's, we've grown up around like wildlife and hunting and things like that. So like we know like wild animals are not like to be trusted, but like the naivety of some of these people like on this show, dude, they're like, can I pet the bear? I'm like, dude, fucking go for it. I'm not going to pet that thing. Like, I'm staying over here where it's safe.
Yeah.
You have no idea what that thing can do to you, and all it needs to do is like smell something it doesn't like, or like you could surprise it and turn around and swat you and you're dead. Like, you got no idea how powerful these things are.
Yeah, dude, they're furry tractors. They're tractors with
exactly.
They're tractors with teeth.
Too. Like, I'm like one of the smallest guys on the whole season of the show. I'm 170 pounds. I've got like 300-pound like national champion arm wrestlers and bodybuilders and stuff. And they're like, first challenge we get there, they're like, all right, you're doing tug of war. I'm like, I'm doing what? Tug of war? All right. And like, let me buckle in all 170 pounds and grab this rope. The bear grabs the other end of the rope and just like twitches his neck. And I'm like, whoa! We'll pick that up on the obstacle course, I guess.
Dude, I was going to say, you're like, I'm the smallest guy there, and I was just thinking, like, I don't think the size of any person matters versus a fucking bear.
No, not really. But I will say, the guy that won my episode, he ended up winning the whole show, and that dude was a fucking tank, dude. I can't even tell you how athletic that dude was. He was a national champion arm wrestler. He was like a lifetime track and field athlete before that, so he was fast as shit. And then once he stopped running like 100 miles a week, he was like, I just started lifting. I just got huge. And I was like, I guess the hell you did, man. You're a giant. He looked like, he said he got mistaken for the mountain like all the time. Like, people would think he was the mountain. And he legitimately beat the bear at a couple of the competitions. Beat the bear. The bear like wasn't able to pull him into the water. They just told him to let go after he got like all of his points.
Yeah.
They're like, it sounded like the bear was getting frustrated. Like, they're just like, just go into the water now. You got all the points. And so he let go because they told him to.
Yeah.
And we did the eating challenge. This dude, so we had like 1 minute to like eat as much food as we could, like all bear themed items, and each food item was worth a different amount of points. They're like, there was like 10 seconds left or 20 seconds left, and I look over, I'm just getting down to one thing. Like, it was mussels, which was like not a big deal at all. I was like, that's a clam dinner in Maine. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So like I'm eating the mussels, and I look over, but I'm not like a super fast eater. I look over, and the girl next to me is almost done the bugs, which is worth like one more point. And I look down to the end, and Bruce, the guy that won,
of course his name is Bruce.
Done. He's done. He's cleaned his plate. Like, the whole plate is gone, and it's just chilling, and we're both still, like, everyone else is still eating, including the bear. Everyone's still eating. This dude's got a napkin, like, like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, like, that was kind of cool, because after I ate all the mussels, I was like, shit, I'm gonna lose to Christina if I don't like get something else down. I have to eat all of another item. And they said whatever we get in our mouth, as long as we don't like spit it out, like, we'll get the points for it. So it's like, well, time for a power play. I scooped up all the silkworms. Silkworms was like the bear delicacy of the day, worth 5 points. And I was like, I need these points. So I stuff all the silkworms in my mouth. I like that. Close my mouth, and then they're like time, and I'm like, I gotta swallow these now. So I got all these silkworms in my mouth.
My eyes are watering. I'm gonna throw up listening to you.
They were like the most joyless gushers. Like they just like All the
I'm
squirting
not
up
kidding,
the
dude.
gut.
I'm fucking nauseous.
They were gnarly, dude. They were gnarly, but I got it done. I got it done. But yeah, so,
Dude, I'm not putting on like an act. I'm.
no, I believe you, man. Like you should have seen the girl next to me, like when I was talking about it too. I was like, "Do they squirt when you buy them?" And she was like, "Can you not say that?" Oh shit, because they did squirt. It's like eating a bag of zits.
I'm. Let's wrap this up. Fuck you. I'm legitimately nauseous. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna. Fuck you. Jesse, thanks for coming on, dude. Go work out.
Man,
You said you had to go work out after an hour. Fuck you. I'm cutting it off 56 minutes. This last 2 minutes was brutal.
You got it, man.
Jesus, dude. That's why you do what you do, because you fuck that's shit I don't do. I don't beat people, and I can't even. Let's end it. Dude, send me the link to that tattoo place and anyone else you want, and I'll plug it in, and I'll put it in the description, and I'll tag it in the comments, and I'll send you the link when this is uploaded, dude. Thank you very much for doing it.
Awesome. Yeah, nice talking to you, man. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, and you're a sick fuck. You're a sick.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, peace, buddy. Take care.
Take care, man. Later.
Peace.